What if I told you that being rich has almost nothing to do with money, and almost everything to do with habits, decisions, and the way you live your everyday life? Most people think wealth starts when you see a big number in your bank account, but in reality, wealth starts much earlier, long before any money shows up. It starts when you're still in school, when you're being taught what normal life is supposed to look like, and when no one ever explains how the system you're entering actually works. That's why some people work their entire lives and never feel free, while others, starting from nothing, slowly build independence. One of the first traps most people fall into is how they value time. Poor thinking is focused on saving small amounts of money, while rich thinking is focused on increasing the value of time. When someone spends hours hunting for tiny discounts or stressing over small expenses, they're not really being careful, they're being conditioned. People like Jeff Bezos or Larry Ellison don't think in terms of cents or small savings. They think in terms of leverage, systems, and decisions that multiply. Time is the only resource you never get back, and once you understand that, you stop trading it cheaply just to survive. This connects directly to how people work. Most people are locked into the 5 days a week work cycle, often doing jobs that barely cover basic needs. Rent, food, insurance, transportation, and then interest on loans. By the time the paycheck arrives, it's already spoken for. With inflation rising and national debt exploding, that pressure only gets heavier. Even when salaries go up, prices move faster. So people feel like they're running, but never moving forward. This isn't a personal failure. It's how the system applies constant pressure without ever fully crushing you, just enough to keep you afraid to stop. Education plays a massive role in this. You're told from a young age that school and college are the only safe path. So you borrow money before you even understand what debt really means. Student loans feel invisible at first, but after graduation, they become a permanent background noise in your life. Every month, interest reminds you that part of your future already belongs to someone else. You're not just working to build a career, you're working to service debt. And that quietly limits your freedom to take risks. Rich people understand something different about income. They don't sell time, they sell results. When you sell hours, your income has a ceiling. When you sell outcomes, there's no limit. That's why entrepreneurs, creators, and investors think in terms of value, not effort. Nobody cares how exhausted you are. They care whether you solved a problem. This mindset shift alone explains why some people break out of the 9-to-5, while others stay trapped inside it for decades. Long-term thinking is another invisible divider. Most people want quick comfort, quick rewards, and fast proof that something is working. Rich people are willing to look foolish, slow, or behind for years. Elon Musk didn't build Tesla or SpaceX for immediate success. He tolerated stress, public failure, and financial risk because he was playing a long game. Most people quit not because they fail, but because the pressure of uncertainty becomes too uncomfortable. Another subtle trap is trying to do everything. The system pushes you to be average at many things, because average people are easier to manage. Rich people do the opposite. They focus obsessively on their strengths. Mark Zuckerberg didn't try to master everything at once. He doubled down on what he already understood. Focus compounds. Scattered effort disappears. Debt doesn't end with education. Mortgages, car loans, credit cards all follow the same logic. You think you're buying freedom or comfort, but what you're really buying is obligation. Early payments don't build wealth, they pay interest. That interest flows upward, quietly and predictably. Even retirement funds often invest in bonds and debt-based instruments, meaning your future security is still tied to the same system that profits from constant borrowing. I can't cover everything in one video, so drop a comment about what you'd like to learn next. A huge part of understanding money and how it really works is explained in The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Check the links in the description. Buying the book also supports the author. Modern consumer culture makes this even worse. You're constantly shown images of success, happiness, and status. New phones, better cars, bigger homes, better lifestyles. If you don't keep up, you feel behind. This isn't accidental. Consumption is marketed as identity. Fear of falling behind keeps people spending, borrowing, and working harder, even when it damages their long-term freedom. From a young age, you're taught that your value is measured by what you own. The clothes you wear, the car you drive, the place you live in. Advertising doesn't sell products anymore. It sells belonging. It quietly tells you, if you don't have this, you're not enough. So people buy things they don't need with money they don't have, just to feel accepted for a moment. That moment fades quickly, but the debt stays for years. Social media accelerates this pressure. You don't just see celebrities anymore, you see your peers, friends, classmates, co-workers, all appearing successful, happy, and ahead of you. What you don't see is the credit card debt, the stress, the anxiety behind the screen. Comparison becomes constant, and comparison kills patience. It pushes people to chase shortcuts, upgrades, and symbols instead of building foundations. Over time, consumption becomes a distraction. It keeps people busy chasing comfort instead of asking dangerous questions. Am I actually free? Do I control my time? Could I stop working tomorrow if I wanted to? As long as you're focused on the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next paycheck, you don't notice how dependent you've become. That's why the system doesn't need force. Desire does the job better. At one point, we decided to make a video about the top 10 richest people in the world, and you can find it on our channel. What surprised us the most wasn't the numbers in their bank accounts, but how similar they think. Their mindset, decision-making, and priorities have far more in common than most people realize. If you want to understand how the wealthy really see the world, go watch that video. It will change the way you think about money, work, and success. But the most important thing we realized while researching that video wasn't how much money they had. It was that every single one of them had a life mission bigger than just making money. Money was a tool, not the goal. Yes, money matters. When you don't have food or a place to live, life feels brutal and unfair. Survival stress takes over everything. That's reality. And helping people stabilize those basic needs is exactly why we make these videos. But once those needs are covered, something shifts. Comfort stops being enough. The real question appears: what are you building beyond survival? Elon Musk doesn't wake up motivated by another dollar. Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon just to be rich. Their drive comes from solving problems, building systems, and leaving a mark. A mission gives direction. Without it, money only amplifies emptiness. With it, money becomes fuel. Complaining feels good, but it leads nowhere. It creates the illusion of action without responsibility. Rich people don't fight the system emotionally. They study it. They either build inside it or around it. Jeff Bezos didn't complain about low margins or competition. He redesigned the entire model. The world doesn't reward frustration. It rewards value. Another key difference is responsibility. A trapped mindset looks for someone to blame. The government, the economy, the system, bad luck. A free mindset looks for leverage. Most wealthy individuals weren't rescued. They adapted. They accepted that no one was coming to save them, and that realization gave them control over their choices. Fear is always present. The difference is how people respond to it. Poor thinking waits for confidence, perfect timing, or guarantees. Rich thinking moves despite fear. Confidence is not a requirement. It's a side effect of action taken under uncertainty. True wealth isn't about money. It's about independence. Independence of time, location, and income. When you control those three things, the system loses its grip. And that's why real financial education is rarely taught in school. Because once you see how the treadmill works, you stop running blindly. If you want to understand how to build that independence, how to step off the treadmill, and how to stop trading your life for comfort and debt, subscribe. Because escaping the system doesn't start with money. It starts with awareness. If you want to get out of debt and think about money differently, I highly recommend reading these two books, along with other books linked in the description. These books dig into how money and the economy really work, showing you the system from the inside. It's the best investment you can make in yourself, because understanding this stuff gives you control over your finances, helps you make smarter decisions, and protects your future wealth.